d'Ivoire to cooperate to deal with consequences following maritime boundary dispute.
Expansion works at Tema motorway roundabout causes heavy traffic.
Good evening and welcome to News Hour, live on GBC24 and Ghana Television. My name is Emmanuel Amagashi.
And I'm Thelma Taki. With us in the studio to do the sign language interpretation is Robert Frimpong Manso.
And to our very first story, the President, Nana Akufo-Addo, has pledged Ghana's determination to cooperate with Cote d'Ivoire in dealing with the consequences of the pending judgment of the maritime boundary dispute between the two countries.
According to the President, what is important is the exploitation of the maritime resources to the benefit of the people in both countries in a peaceful manner. The President gave the assurance after he was awarded the highest national honor of Cote d'Ivoire, known as the Order of the Grand Ivorian Cross, as part of his 3-day tour to that country.
Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire share a common platform on many issues. The two are bonded by common history, ethnic ties, culture and geography. In terms of agriculture, Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire produce about 65% of the world's cocoa. Cocoa contributes about 15% of Cote d'Ivoire's GDP, and in Ghana it contributes about 7%. President Akufo-Addo and his Ivorian counterpart have one thing in common. Both have tried more than once to win presidential election, and also both were educated in France. The bond of friendship between the two leaders explained the conferment of the highest national award in Cote d'Ivoire on President Akufo-Addo, the Order of the Grand Ivorian Cross. The citation said the honor done the Ghanaian first gentleman was also due to his contribution towards the promotion of democracy as well as his exemplary leadership. This is the second of such honor after a similar one in Burkina Faso, which was conferred on him by President Kabore. President Akufo-Addo thanked the Ivorian President Mr. Alassane Ouattara and his people for the honor. Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire is currently involved in a legal tussle at the International Tribunal for the Law of the Sea in Hamburg, Germany, on acceptance of bisector method of maritime boundary delimitation. President Akufo-Addo, after expressing hope that the case would go in favor of Ghana, also assured the people of Cote d'Ivoire of Ghana's commitment at working with them to effectively deal with the maritime boundary dispute.
I've come here in an atmosphere of fraternity and solidarity to give a new impetus to our already strong relations and to establish a framework of cooperation to resolve whatever outstanding problems there are between our two countries. We are all aware of the litigation in Hamburg on the delimitation of our maritime boundaries. Whatever the result of that litigation, and naturally, I hope it goes in favor of Ghana. I want to assure President Ouattara, his government, and the Ivorian people of the determination of my government and I to work with you in a healthy manner of cooperation to deal with the consequences of the pending judgment.
The President again advocated a framework to ensure a better cooperation for the benefit of the two countries.
The close cooperation of stable, fully functioning democracies such as ours will give a great push to the growth of stable constitutional governance, not just in our region, but on the entire African continent, which can only inure the benefit and welfare of the African peoples.
President Akufo-Addo later, together with the Vice President of La Cote d'Ivoire, Mr. Daniel Kablan-Dankling, toured Cyprus Electricity Company, one of the power-producing companies in the country. The President, Nana Akufo-Addo, is expected back home on Sunday, May 7, after a tour to 3 West African countries, including Togo, Burkina Faso, and La Cote d'Ivoire.
We still stay a while longer on the President's visit. President Akufo-Addo has said that Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire will soon enter into strategic partnerships that will yield dividends for the two countries. The President was speaking after a closed-door meeting with his Ivorian counterpart in Cote d'Ivoire.
Cote d'Ivoire is the third and last country President Akufo-Addo is visiting on his tour of ECOWAS countries to officially introduce himself to his counterpart. The visit is also to examine bilateral matters and to give assurance of Ghana's commitment to the ECOWAS project. After a closed-door meeting with Ivorian President Alassane Ouattara, President Akufo-Addo commended his counterpart for the progress and development in the country after it was plunged into a political turmoil. He indicated that the strategic partnership between Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire will accelerate economic development in both countries.
I want us to work closely together during the period of my mandate and of his, and bring our two countries closer and closer together. It's for that reason that I have accepted with a great deal of excitement the idea that he put forward that Ghana and Cote d'Ivoire should enter into a strategic partnership, an agreement of a strategic partnership that will encompass all aspects of governance of our two countries. I think it's an exciting idea, and if it succeeds, which I have no doubt it will, since we're going into this partnership with sincerity on both sides, it will be a tremendous boost and impetus it will give to the process of integration and collaboration in West Africa and within the wider African continent.
President Akufo-Addo was hopeful that with effective systems in place, countries in the sub-region can experience economic growth just like countries in other parts of the world.
There can no longer be any excuse on the part of any of us for maintaining ourselves in conditions of poverty. Other parts of the world who began in situations just as ourselves have done it. We on our part can also do it. We find ourselves with the resolve, the determination, and the will to be able to go forward. And these are the matters that are the subject of the discussions that I'm having with President Ouattara. And I'm so happy for myself that in the period when I've come into office in Ghana, I have him as my Western neighbor, a man with whom I share so many common sentiments, attitudes, and policies. And I'm hoping that this synchronization of our periods in office will inure to the benefit of the Ghanaian and Ivorian people. That it will bring about a period of prosperity in the lives of our two countries and be therefore that beacon, that example for the rest of our continent.
He thanked President Alassane Ouattara for honoring the invitation to his inauguration, even at a time when the security of Cote d'Ivoire was under threat.
Back on home soil, the Ashanti Regional Minister, Mr. Simon Osei-Mensah, has warned that he will not sign any certificate submitted by contractors for payments until he is convinced that all projects have been completed and according to specification. Mr. Osei-Mensah, who was inspecting some feeder road projects in the region, expressed worry about some uncompleted projects of which contractors are seeking clearance for payment.
The inspection tour by the Ashanti Regional Minister, Mr. Simon Osei-Mensah, was occasioned by the number of certificates presented by contractors who are seeking payment for projects they have executed. Mr. Osei-Mensah visited the project sites to ascertain the level of work done. He first visited the Dadiase-Nyinampong-Domu feeder road in the Asante-Mampong municipality, which is 8.7 kilometers. The regional minister asked the contractor, MS Kinsandu & Co., to provide details of other projects per the contract. The regional minister, who was accompanied by the regional director of feeder roads, Mr. Peter Yorson, and other road engineers, also inspected work on a 34.5-kilometer Wiamoasi-Kofiasi road project in the Sechere South District, and the Asokore-Nkwankwenua road, as well as the Wiamoasi-Kofiasi road that links two Sechere South districts and the Mampong municipality. The contractors of all the road projects said they have completed their work and have therefore left site. Mr. Osei-Mensah said he will first seek the advice of engineers of the Feeder and Urban Roads Department and later refer the contract documents to the sector minister before recommending payments for contracts.
We have to ensure value for money, and we have to ensure that whatever payment that you make, you make the payment for actual project done. I don't want somebody to come and tell me tomorrow that this payment you made, even the project has not been completed, or maybe there's double payment. I have to avoid those things.
On the quality of the road projects inspected, the regional minister said every fiscal project contract has defect period during which the contractor is obliged to remedy any defects upon completion.
Still on roads, ongoing expansion works at the Tema motorway roundabout is causing heavy vehicular traffic on that stretch. The temporary diversion of traffic from the roundabout has slowed vehicular movement from Accra, Akosombo and Aflao. Motorists are therefore calling on the contractors to speed up work in order to ease the traffic congestion.
The Tema motorway runabout is characterized by heavy vehicular traffic. Last year, the Maritime Port Services MPS, financier of the project, awarded a contract to Sino Hydro Ghana to expand and rehabilitate the motorway runabout. This is to decongest vehicular traffic along that stretch of the road. In November last year, work started on phase 1 of the project. Currently, work on phase 2, which is expansion of the harbour road into a dual carriageway, is underway. A temporary diversion of traffic from Accra, Akosombo and Aflao is however causing traffic congestion on the stretch.
The traffic here is serious. We are pleading for them to work on the license office road to serve as an alternative route.
They should have created an alternative route before starting this project. We are pleading with government to intervene.
The community liaison officer Nanobrimpo is in charge of the project.
Where we are standing right now is the Harbour Road. This is the roundabout. Previously, until we got to the second phase of the project, vehicles going to Tema, from the roundabout, they come through where we have the New Jersey barriers, and then they continue, they go. But because of the second phase, which has to do with the rehabilitation of the Harbour Road, that is from the roundabout to the Total filling station, just about 120 meters from here, you can see that this road is no more. It has been excavated for rehabilitation works.
Although there were synergies and traffic lights to direct motorists, some are yet to get used to the diversions.
When you look behind me, you see a traffic light over there. It's a mobile traffic light system we are using to help manage traffic here. We have same traffic lights just about 100 meters away from here. So with the help of this traffic light and with the help of the flagmen, they will control it. But you notice we had a challenge here. He's controlling the car is going. So I take opportunity of your medium to appeal to the users of the road that let's cooperate. Let's cooperate with the flagmen. Let's cooperate with the policemen. Let's also adhere to signs and the traffic rules, and it would help solve the problem.
Work is expected to be completed by August this year, and the runabout will then be opened to traffic.
Meanwhile, the Minister of Roads and Highways, Mr. Samuel Amoakwata, has inspected construction works and has directed that contractors consider working full-time at night in order to avoid the inconvenience during the day.
The Tema roundabout is one of the biggest roundabouts in the country, with a number of ancillary roads and bypass bounded to the east by Akosombo, north Aflao and south Accra. Congestion and traffic on that stretch is quite unbearable. Motorists spend several hours on this stretch. For this reason, Meridian Port Services MPS, a container handling terminal at the Tema port, as part of its social corporate responsibility, is undertaking expansion works at the Tema roundabout. The $6 million project, which started about 6 months ago, is to decongest the roundabout and expand it with additional lanes. So far, the first phase of the project, which has 4 bypasses, has been completed, while expansion works at the main roundabout is expected to be completed in 3 months' time. The project coordinator, Mr. Victor Musinu, said the onset of rains is a challenge, but they will work hard to complete on time. The resident engineer, Mr. Kwabna Bimpong, said traffic management plans have been put in place to ensure the safety of both motorists and pedestrians. He said the police and traffic wardens will still be at vantage points to ensure traffic flow during and after completion of work.
The problem with the runabout has to do with the Akosombo Road, but then the problem has to do with those who cross very close to the runabout. They are making left turns there and thereby blocking the free flow of traffic from the runabout to Akosombo. Our dualization will block that kind of maneuver. We have a median, which will not allow them, because you see, if you look at all the approach roads, they all have medians. They are all dualized. But it is only the Akosombo road which is not dualized. So that is the immediate solution.
The CEO of MPS, Mohammed Samara, assured the Minister of Roads and Highways of completing the work on schedule.
The night work entails that the ready-mix companies and few other stakeholders that have to come and synchronize it. Well, I can assure you that the engineers will put it and the project management as a priority with the contractors to review how they can accommodate some night work. But what is really, really important is we are bound to cross the road, and when crossing the road, we're going to cross the path of vehicles. So we need to really have the patience.
This is the second time in a month that the Minister for Roads and Highways, Mr. Samuel Amwako-Atta, has visited the Tamamoto Way roundabout to assess the progress of work so far. He urged the contractors to speed up work to reduce the stress and travel distance that motorists go through.
Shortening the extended working period during the day when traffic is huge, and then substituting it with full night work, it will be better, and they appear to have welcomed that suggestion. So I want to see it going forward within the next 48 hours. The CEO is going to put in place, in conjunction with the contractors and the consultants, to introduce full-time night work. And I believe that if it's done, it will reduce the problems here.
Upon completing works at the roundabout, motorists coming from Aflao to Akosombo will no longer use the roundabout. Likewise, motorists moving from Akosombo to the motorway. Those from Accra to Tema will also not use the roundabout. Instead, they will use the bypass by the sides of the roundabout. For GBC24, Mavis Affair Champon reporting.
Now, away from the roads stories, let's do other stories. The Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, Mrs. Elizabeth Afole Kwei, has inaugurated 50 Fisheries Watch volunteers in the Adan East and Jamestown cluster of fishing communities. The Fisheries Watch volunteers have been trained in the use of equipment for monitoring and checking illegal fishing activities at sea and along the landing beaches.
The fisheries sector contributes about 4.5% of the country's GDP in agriculture. Research indicates that fish stands are declining due to illegal fishing practices such as spear trawling, light fishing, the use of unauthorized net meshes, and the use of dynamites and other harmful chemicals in fishing. In February this year, the Fisheries Commission was supported by the West Africa Regional Fisheries Program of USAID to train some local fishermen from Adan East and Jamestown on various equipment that will help check illegal fishing activities at sea. The Minister for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development, Mrs. Elizabeth Afole Kwei, who inaugurated the first batch of 50 watch volunteers at Adan, said the fishermen themselves will serve as watchdogs to ensure sanity in the fishing industry.
I wish to advise the Fisheries Watch volunteers inaugurated to be strong and courageous in carrying out your mandates according to the guidelines in the operational manual and also within the laws of Ghana. Your own communities are going to rely on your good judgment to bring sanity into the fishing industry. You are, however, cautioned to be guided by the principles of the rule of law and desist from taking the law into your own hands.
The fishermen promised to be up to the task, but asked the ministry to institute measures that will ensure the exercise is sustained. Similar fisheries watch volunteers in other fishing communities in the country will be inaugurated by the ministry to boost the fishing industry.
Meanwhile, some fishermen from Aklabanya, a fishing community in the Adan East constituency of the Greater Accra region, are protesting against the inauguration of the Fishing Task Force by the Fisheries Commission to check illegal fishing activities in the area. The fishermen argue that the task force will undermine their activities.
Aklabanya, Otrope, Lolonya, Anyaman are fishing communities in the Adan East constituency that allegedly engage in illegal fishing practices. Most of the fishermen in these communities use light in fishing. To clamp down on the activities, the Ministry for Fisheries and Aquaculture Development has inaugurated a task force to support the Marine Police in monitoring and checking illegal activities at the landing beaches. At the inaugural ceremony, the irate fishermen from Aklabanya stormed the venue to protest against the introduction of a task force in the area. Police officers at the program could not control the mob and called for reinforcement, but there was no response. They looked on helplessly as the fisher folk destroyed canopies and broke chairs, eventually bringing the program to an abrupt end. The group claimed they were not consulted and that the ministry was imposing the task force on them.
What we know in law is that stakeholders must have part to play in any law that is promulgated. Once we are not aware and we don't have a stake, we are calling for at least a conference, a small one, to discuss the way forward.
The minister, Mrs. Elizabeth Afolekwe, expressed disappointment at their actions and urged them to allow the fisheries law to work in order to improve the sector.
Fishermen have made themselves, they've turned themselves into politicians. And what they are telling me is that they wanted us, a group of people from a particular party, to be a part of what we are doing. But we are not really composing a group, a political group. What we are doing is we are inviting volunteers. We are doing volunteerism. It is against the Fisheries Act that anybody should engage in light fishing. And so that's what we are fighting against. And we are going to continue to fight against the wrong.
Regular preventive care is one of the most important ways to maintain one's health over time. Cervical cancer screening, therefore, becomes important, especially for women's health. GBC24's Oferiwa Darko delves deep into this cervical cancer test called pap smear. Viewers are cautioned that some of the pictures may be disturbing.
For many women, the thought of getting a pap smear is quite scary. They face severe anxiety prior to a pap test and may even cancel scheduled appointments. Priscilla Mponsa tells me that she had to gather courage to get a pap smear.
I was having a discharge that was not normal and a bit of itchy more, so I did a smear, but I was cleared.
She further said that the 5-minute procedure has been the most essential and life-saving test for her. Cervical cancer is one of the leading causes of mortality among women in Ghana. Early detection has better prognosis and outcome, and this is why the importance of the pap smear, which is multiple sexual partners to go for a pap smear.
The symptoms will not show early, but it's better that you clear yourself. You need to clear yourself. When you clear yourself, you are fine. That one I prefer, that's the precaution for yourself. But you wait for the cancer to spread, the treatment, you find it very difficult to treat. Walk to the government hospital, they will test you. It's not for a charge, there's no fee.
Avoid intercourse, douching, or the use of any vaginal medicines or spermicidal foams, creams, or jellies for 2 days before having a pap smear, as these may wash away obscure abnormal cells. Health experts say these prior steps would ensure an effective pap smear. For GBC24, Oferiwa reporting.
The UN is stepping up its campaign to ensure that no matter where one lives in the world, one should have access to a place of convenience to attend to nature's call. This is to promote a world where one can live a healthy and a productive life. Hence, the call on governments in the developing world, including Ghana, to help stop open defecation. Muramura, a community in the eastern region, is poised to take its name from the list of the 1 billion people in the world that the UN says are engaged in open defecation.
Muramura in the Asante Achim district is a farming community which has a population of over 4,000. The inhabitants of the area cultivate cocoa, cassava, cocoyam, plantain and kola nut. Most of the youth in the village have traveled to the urban areas in the country and abroad to seek for greener pastures. UNICEF says out of the 27 million population in Ghana, less than 10 million have toilets in their homes, and this includes the 4,000 people in Muramura. To address this challenge, government in 2015 announced it has secured about $100 million to provide toilets for houses and communities across the country. But before government will extend its hand to Muramura, a son of the soil, Mr. Solomon Ajin, who is resident in Belgium together with the Ghana Council in Belgium Association, have joined hands to put up a 24-seater water closet for the town.
I saw that they don't have a public toilet. And, hygienic is very important. So I took that advantage. I said, okay, let me help them to do this for them. They are doing 12 years, so it's 24, so it's around 500 to 600. My advice is that when we finish this project, they should take good care of it, manage it very good, so that next time we can break other things.
Prior to this development, the residents made an attempt to build toilets, but due to financial challenges, it has come to a standstill. The chief of Muramura, Nana Jechi Amo, was happy that his people have been remembered by a son of their land to come and help his people. The president of the Ghana Association in Belgium, Mr. Kweku Echiampomboama, urged residents of Muramura to support the project by contributing sand, wood and labor.
We are having a very strong relationship with the Antwerp city authorities. You can tell me like the AMA of Antwerp or the AMA of Accra, yeah. So they are supporting us, but then they tell us, or they let us choose where we want to do the projects. And the concept is that they pay about 50% or 60%, and then an association pays about 30%, and then the community members should pay about 10%. But this one, we have a local, a Ghanaian entrepreneur in Antwerp by name King Solomon. So he has chosen to pay the 30% for the community, and this is his village, so he has chosen to bear the cost.
And to people in the town, there was no better way to express their gratitude to the Ghanaians resident in Belgium and Solomon Ajin, also known as King Solomon, than to dance their hearts out.
This is GBC24 and GTV, it's News Hour Live. We'll be right back with more stories after the break.
Welcome to Business, brought to you by Ernest Chemist and NIB. The World Bank has released $53.8 million for the construction of a modern landing beach site at Teshi. The project, which is expected to take off in November this year, falls under the West Africa Regional Fisheries Program to promote quality fish in West Africa.
In recent times, there have been reports of fishermen using illegal means for fishing, hence reducing the quality of fish. In order to resolve the problem associated with the fishing sector, the World Bank, in partnership with the Fisheries Ministry, introduced the West Africa Regional Fisheries Program to help improve fishing. The program also seeks to support fishing communities to address the challenges confronting the sector. Teshi, an indigenous fishing community, is to benefit from the program with the construction of a modern landing site. Designs for the site is ongoing and stakeholders have been invited to make inputs. According to the project directors, they have to consult widely with the fisherfolks and come out with a project that will be satisfactory to all parties involved.
This is part of a program to reform fisheries in the whole Gulf of Guinea, the whole West African region. It involves a number of countries. It is not Ghana alone. The facility that has been given to Ghana is 53.8 million over the 5-year period. And what we are looking at is, first of all, to improve fisheries governance in Ghana.
The bank who is assisting us has given us a loan facility to actually develop a landing site, small-scale landing sites. Okay, this is supposed to have landing platforms, washrooms, boat mending areas, coal stalls, and then mending areas for their nets. Okay, these are all things that will enhance the work they do at the beach, to also allow fish brought on the mainland in a very hygienic conditions. You didn't have people trooping to the banks of the water and then messing up with the fish that is caught directly.
Making inputs into the design layout, the fisherfolks said they are happy with the project but wish a breakwater be included into the design to making doing business at the landing beach more attractive. The Member of Parliament for Lejokuku, Dr. Okoboy, said government is interested in developing the fishing sector and welcome the assistance from the World Bank.
What we have to do is to ensure that whatever they are bringing on board is going to add or facilitate business at the beach, help them to have a better working environment. And then at the same time, look at innovative ways to source funding for the breakwater, which they are very much interested in. It will not be proper to throw away the World Bank project because you so much need a breakwater or a landing beach.
The World Bank Landing Beach project is also intended to deal with sanitation at the beach and promote tourism.
On average, if one wants to remit £100 to a family in Ghana, the sender will have to cough about £5. And to reduce this cost, the Swiss government is supporting Ghana with a $2.6 million grant to provide financial assistance to companies to develop innovative remittance products and services at a relatively low cost. The Remittance Grant Facility project will last for a period of 4 years, from September 2016 to August 2020.
The Remittance Grant Facility, RGF, is a challenge fund established by the government of Ghana and Switzerland. The RGF is financed by Switzerland through the State Secretariat for Economic Affairs, SECO, and managed by KPMG International Development Advisory Services. The grant aims at facilitating the flow of remittances through formal channels to Ghanaians to endanger economic growth and reduce poverty. The RGF will award grants between $20,000 and $250,000 based on the nature of the project. Registered private for-profit firms operating in Ghana include banks, non-financial institutions, money transfer operators, mobile network operators, fintechs and other commercial entities that are licensed qualify to apply for this grant. The fund manager, KPMG, plans to run 2 competitions over the 4-year project duration. Also, for a company to apply, these 2 processes would be taking into consideration a project concept note and project proposal. The chargé d'affaires of the Embassy of Switzerland, Mr. Roland Fischer, said the Remittance Grant Facility project signed a year ago by Ghana has made substantial progress in preparing the grounds for its commencement. A Deputy Finance Minister, Mr. Charles Eduboahin, said the remittance market in Ghana is exclusively inward-oriented and dominated by international money transfer organizations.
The way I see remittance flows is that I see it as I see it as an export. I think what we're doing here is that we are exporting human capital. You know, we have a great education system here in Ghana. We educate our people very well, make them doctors, nurses, you know, scientists, and they all, you know, go travel abroad to the West, and they remit money home to build a home, to take care of their aging parents, and so forth and so on. And this is money that they've earned by working abroad out of the education they acquired here in Ghana. So it makes logical sense that we deepen our education, we improve our curriculum, and we invest in this education that is creating or generating these scholars who go out there and earn an income and remit back to Ghana.
In a presentation by the lead consultant for the RGF, Madame Galina Okate noted that the average cost of remitting money to Ghana is 12%. That of Nigeria to Ghana is 26%. She added that the cost drivers are infrastructure, services fees, marketing, research and development. KPMG is therefore in charge of setting up the RGF and is responsible for the day-to-day management and monitoring of the project's implementation. GBC24 spoke to the General Manager of Business Development of GIPS, Mrs. Clara Arthur. She said with a relation with all banks, there is the need to leverage on the payment and infrastructure system.
Going beyond what we've done today is to actually iron out some of the challenges we face. Sometimes people receive remittances and you actually get to an agent point and the agent hasn't got enough cash. What today's program will do is actually to aid fintechs who have such innovative products so that even when the money gets there, people who are the agents can actually have cash to serve people. It's one thing sending money and it's another thing receiving the money. So what we have done at GIPS is to leverage on our e-switch system and the instant payment system.
The Ministry of Finance, Bank of Ghana, Financial Intelligence Center, together with SECO, have oversight responsibility of the fund.
Business News was brought to you by Kindness, NS Chemist and NIB. My Journey is next.
My name is Gordon Asidiba. It's time for us to take you on a tour here in Ghana and abroad. It's My Journey, the segment that brings you absolutely nothing but the best in the world of news. Today on My Journey, we are taking you through the Legon Botanical Gardens. The Legon Botanical Gardens has a beautiful, serene surrounding and a dynamic outdoor play space for all ages. The garden aims to promote tourism and to attract both foreign and local visitors. The unique beauty of the Legon Botanical Gardens stems from its serene and lushly scenic atmosphere. Its serenity makes it an ideal place for everybody, including those on a picnic. The Botanical Garden is a garden dedicated to the collection, cultivation and display of a wide range of plants labeled with their botanical names. It may contain specialist plant collections such as cacti and other succulent plants. The Legon Botanical Gardens has now become an ideal place for children to play and while away the time.
I came here to play. My favorite playground is spider climbing. I came here with my siblings and my cousins to play. It is nice when you are climbing it.
The playground includes the first and only high rope courses in Ghana, and it consists of over 32 stages. A supervisor of the high rope courses, Mr. Charles Avi, spoke to our team.
The high rope course, we have 4 routes, and we simplify it to 2 routes, 2 level. At the 2 level, we have 2 at the top, 1 at the down. We can classify it as a cost. So if you are a beginner and you want to go on the high rope cost, you have to start from the down. And if you know you are master, you can pay and go to the next one. That's the top one.
The safety and the security of visitors are high on the radar of the staff at the Legon Botanical Gardens.
It's very safe because I got stuck too many times and
the people here are very good. They just came and helped me, and they gave me rope to come back. It's excellent. As safety, I was so safe. I felt very good.
It's very nice, but today it's very hot, so it made it very, very hard. I'm very tired. For me, I feel like the first 2 levels are pretty much the same, and then the other levels are also almost the same, but the second levels are harder than the first ones because they add just something little, like a small thing, but it really inconveniences.
Well, this is very good. The ropes courses are challenging. They allow you to get across. You get a certain feeling of that, not that healthy fear that you've got to do it the right way, but without feeling scared that something's going to happen. It's very well executed.
Other playgrounds in the gardens includes the zip line, multi-tower play, chini bar, rotating merry-go-round, solo mobile, Tripoli jump, and the pyramid rope climber. The famous Kakum National Park in the central region has been replicated at the Legon Botanical Gardens, and it is now bustling with activities. Some of the fan seekers shared their experiences with GBC24.
The Accra Botanical Gardens has been in existence for quite some time now, so GBC24 was here today to get a coverage about what goes in and out of this place. So as you can see, this happens to be a new structure that was established here at the Botanical Gardens here in Legon. So I must say it was an amazing experience. We spoke to people about their experience too as well.
This is my first time of being to this place. I've been to Kakam before, but I think this place is a very nice place. The environment, the serene, the direction is perfect. So I think they should keep it up.
One thing I want to comment on is I saw this new thing coming here on the internet. But as I got here, I learned this is the first time they are just starting. But what I want to say is it seems for the green one, because of the kids, I think alongside the what's the name, the ropes that they used to hold left and right, we have to get, I think, about 2 of them. One should be up a bit, whilst one should be down. All the same, it's fine, it's nice. I really enjoyed myself here today.
Oh, it's beautiful. Everything about it's beautiful. It's very well laid out. My family had a nice time on the canopy walk, and our whole family went across the canopy walk. It was wonderful. I haven't been to any here in Ghana. I can tell you that some that I've been to in the United States and areas like that, this is very comparable. This is very good. Oh, it's exciting because we've enjoyed our time here in Ghana. I'm a principal at a LAS Liberty School here, and this is just something that adds to the community, and this is something exciting. We'll be bringing our students out here for them to kind of learn. Again, most of this is for team building exercises and to do different things. And so again, I find this is a great and wonderful experience, and I find it very interesting that we were the first to come across because, wow, this is just beautiful.
The accountant of the Legon Botanical Gardens, David Akese, said the canopy walk is aimed at attracting both local and foreign visitors into the gardens.
The purpose is to give people the opportunity to have a different, a unique form of recreation, of fun, of relaxation.
The canopy walkway is 180 meters long and 60 meters high and should have a maximum of 6 people at a time on it. Lovers of nature will find the Legon Botanical Gardens the best place to satisfy their curiosity by watching birds, butterflies, and bask in the atmosphere created by the mixture of indigenous and exotic trees. So if you are wondering on where to find time to spend with your family, then the Legon Botanical Gardens must be a place for you to be. That is all we have for you today on My Journey Tonight. The news continues. My name once again is Godwin Asidiwa.
Hello, good evening. Let's talk sports. We quickly start off on this footballing, where Accra Great Olympics this afternoon did wonders by beating Kumasi Asante Kotoko by 2 goals to 0. and match day 14 of the ongoing Ghana Premier League. Bring you videos of that particular game later, but let's go straight to Italy, where Sule Muntari has had the one-match ban he received after protesting against racist abuse overturned. The Pescara midfielder left the field after being booked in Sunday's Serie A game at Cagliari for 2017 finals of the Rugby Africa Regional Challenge Group West 1 Championship takes place tomorrow. Ghana will play Togo. I'll bring you a preview. The finals of the Rugby Africa Regional Challenge Group West 1 tournament will take place at the Accra Sports Stadium on Sunday. Ghana will face Togo, with the winner getting promotion to Group C. Ghana opened her campaign with an impressive 46 points to 5 win over the Squirrels of Benin, whilst Togo had an upset against Benin. They lost narrowly by 14 points to 2. A win for either side with a bigger scoreline will get them promoted to Group C. With the stakes higher now, the two technical handlers of the team have given an indication of what one should expect from them on Sunday.
Yes, we want to win. We know Ghana game, even Benin, we know them a game. But today they win us. Game is a game. It's not a general truth. So we can't pronostic today that we are going to win them or they are going to win us. Only one thing I can do to you is we will try our best to be a good adversary to Ghana team.
We really need to tie our balls together so that we score more in the next game. Of course, we believe Togo is much better, stronger than Benin. But I believe if we work so much during the week, of course we're not going to be working on a lot of things. The guys need to rest and focus for the next game. But there are some certain things which are basic that we can fix so that we can come back and perform better than what we're doing in this game.
The official kickoff time for the Ghana versus Togo match is 3 p.m. and officials say gates will be open for free with loads of entertainment on the sidelines. The president of the Ghana Rugby Football Union, Mr. Herbert Mensah, is optimistic of the progress of the national team, the Eagles, in the ongoing AFCON at the Accra Sports Stadium.
If we're able to win by the right margin, then, you don't rest on your laurels. We know that we're moving in the right direction. We start preparing for the sevens. We start preparing for the Commonwealth Games. We start preparing to take Ghana to another level. The kind of progress we've made in the last 12 months, last 18 months, you've seen it yourself, is massive. We have a physicality of player now that we didn't have before. We've got players over 124 kilos. We've got players over 6'5" in height. We've got power, we've got youth. Now we're teaching them how to play the game of rugby. Mentally, they're beginning to think like rugby players, not like footballers. That means you're working for each other, you are dying for each other. You're not worried about material things. You understand it's about respect, it's about teamwork, it's about fighting on the pitch and not leaving any energy at the end of the 80 minutes at which you play. So we are getting the right approach to the game. Is it perfect? No. Do we have some way to go? Absolutely. And we are all learning, all of us, all the time. So I'm really happy with where we've come from the league to a squad of...
And so let's rally our flags round the Eagles tomorrow at the Accra Sports Stadium as they take on Togo in the finals of the Rugby Africa Cup of Nations. That's all for sports. Entertainment is next.
Now to the lighter side of the news. Ripped jeans were trending years ago but seem to be fading off. The reality is that long before people were wearing torn jeans to express personal style, people wore torn clothing out of necessity. And those who put on ripped jeans are not below the financial ladder, but do it because it is in vogue.
Ripped jeans are denim jeans with tear or cuts, often on the knees, but possibly in other locations on the pant. They were popular in the late 1980s during the hard rock heavy metal era and in the 1990s and 2000s during the grunge era. There are primarily 3 types of ripped jeans. Jeans ripped naturally as a result of old age. Jeans ripped on purpose by the owner of the garment. and jeans ripped during the manufacturing process on purpose. Ripped jeans were simply a result of overwearing and used to be associated with the less fortunate. Worn and ripped jeans remain popular as they are still sold in stores and manipulated by consumers currently. In the early 2010s, ripped jeans came back in style as a 90s revival, but were sometimes introduced as distressed.
Keep watching the weather reports, and I'll see you same time right here only on GTV.
And that's how we wrap up this bulletin of news on GBC24 and GTV. Enjoy your Saturday evening. We'll be back at 10:30 with a week's compilation of news on this week.